What's up, Jivan here, bringing you another video. Today we're going to be talking about mentality. I'll talk about stuff you should be focusing on during fights, a couple tips to avoid getting tunnel vision, just kind of things you should be thinking about during a fight. And I get asked all the time how I stay so calm and not rage and stuff. So I'll try to give you some tips on that, and just some tips on how I stay motivated to grind. Let's hop right into it. So my first piece of advice in this video is just going to be slow down your gameplay. I see a lot of people lose fights in arena just because they're trying to be way too fast, and they get so distracted by their mechanics that they stop reading their opponent. If you're moving really fast and wiggling your mouse around all over the place trying to edit like crazy, you might lose track of your opponent. But if you slow down and try to focus on just playing smart, playing efficient with your edits, and keeping track of where your opponent is, you'll probably win a lot more fights. Don't get me wrong, I'm not telling you to lose all your adrenaline in a fight. I'm telling you to just slow down your thought process and focus on playing smart rather than fast. There's still going to be times where you need to whip the mouse in a certain way to, block a shot or make a move or piece control someone, But if you slow down in the right situations, it can help you a lot with tracking your opponent through builds and hitting your shots when the time comes down to it. Try to focus a lot on what they're doing, almost more than what you're doing. It'll help you read them and track them, and then when the time comes where you have an opportunity to piece control them, that's when you want to go really, really fast. Edit as quick as you can and whip the builds into position and get them full boxed. Then set up your right hand peek and slow down when you're taking your shot. Try to focus only on your aim. A lot of Fortnite comes down to mentality, even when it's your mechanics. And when I say mechanics, I'm talking about building, editing, aiming. And the reason it comes down to mentality is if you focus on the right things at the right time in a fight, you'll perform a lot better. A lot of people go numb during a fight, get tunnel vision and don't know what to be focusing on at the right points. So when you're in the middle of a fight, you should be focusing on tracking your opponent and trying to read them, so then you can find an opportunity to piece control them, get them full boxed, get some builds around them, and then you set up a right hand peek and focus only on aiming. If you ever lose track of your opponent during a fight, then just take a moment, box up, and try to, regain consciousness of what's going on around you. Maybe take a quick scan around to see if there's a third party approaching, and just gain an understanding of where your opponent is and try to read what they're going to do next. In team-based game modes, it's the same exact thing. If you don't know where your opponents are, you shouldn't just be building around like crazy. You need to make sure that you box up anytime you lose track of them, gain an understanding of your area, and then you can go make moves again. A lot of times, me and my teammates will just base up together, or we'll regroup if we, feel overwhelmed or don't know where our teammates are. We'll regroup and then gain an understanding and then push back. The other thing is the number one priority on your mind during team-based game modes is communication. Never stop communicating, and if you hear one of your teammates just not communicating, they probably are getting tunnel vision, and you need to tell them, talk, let me know what's going on. So, quick recap, first things first, you need to figure out what your opponent's doing, take a second and try to read them. Once you have an idea of what they're going to do, try to build really fast, do all your best moves and get them piece controlled. If you get them piece controlled, slow down and hit your shots. You need to mentally think, okay, they're right in front of me, focus on nothing but aim. If you lose track of your opponent, just restart the fight. Let's move on to the next topic. So now we're going to be talking about ways that I stay calm while playing and how I don't tilt and stuff like that. So when it comes down to being shaky during fights, you may just need more experience fighting good players. You can gain practice by 1v1ing a lot of opponents in creative, or just by playing a lot of arena, and eventually that'll just go away. But if your mouse is shaky, even though you're not nervous, you may need to lower your sense a bit or get a new mouse pad, because sometimes mouse pads can cause the mouse to shake. Or even a new mouse might do the trick if you have a really good mouse pad. People are always asking how I stay so calm after I die in game, and truth is, I just try not to care about it too much. You gotta understand, arena's not for money or anything like that, so there's no reason to take it super seriously. If you start to get frustrated because you die over and over again, which I've been there, I still get there sometimes, I have off days. When that happens, I just take a break. Maybe I hop in creative and 1v1 a friend for a bit, or I just hop off the game. Because you're probably not going to do so great if you're raging and stuff, so you need to give yourself a mental reset and take a break from arena. The most important thing is catch yourself before you have big rage fits, you feel? It's not worth breaking a keyboard over Arena. If you feel yourself getting there, just shut off the game. Take your anger out on Fortnite by clicking that X out button, you feel? Something I do in Arena, whenever I die, I try to think in my head. I don't really go back and watch it back all the time, but I try to think in my head what I did wrong, try to take a mental note of that, and that's probably the healthiest way to handle losing a game. Think about what you did wrong, whether it was bad aim, you lost track of your opponent, whatever it is, and make a mental note of that, because if you make multiple mental notes of the same thing, you can add that to your practice routine. Like say I miss a lot of shots with a certain gun over and over again in fights, and that's the reason I'm dying, go into creative and practice with that gun. It's much healthier for you as a competitive player and for your mental health to handle losing in that sense, you know? Because 1, you get better, 2, you don't break anything, and 3, it's like the most mature way to handle it. So if you're streaming or something, you know, you can gain a lot of respect from your followers. Streaming or being in a call with friends is another really good way to stop raging, because you don't want them to see you in that light, you know? You don't want them to see you as somebody who rages and can't control their emotions. So being in a call or streaming is a really good way to stop raging. The most important thing is just take a step back and realize it's just a game, it ain't that serious. There's no money on the line or anything like that. Anyways, that's how I avoid raging. Now let's talk about how I stay motivated as a content creator and competitive player. The biggest piece of advice I can give you when it comes down to this topic is set goals for yourself. Each day when I get on, I plan my day out. I plan what videos I need to make, maybe a certain amount of clips that I need to get, maybe a certain amount of arena points that I want to reach by the end of the day. There can be a lot of different goals that you set up within the game, so try that out. It keeps me so motivated doing stuff like that. Each day when I get up, I literally sit down with a notebook and I write down all the things that I want to accomplish throughout the day, and that helps push me to do it. Just having a written list of things that you want to get done and then being able to check those off once you do them, it's really satisfying. And I don't think a lot of people in the community do that, but that's how I'm able to get so much stuff done. I also try to plan out my whole entire week, you know, upload schedule, my streams, what I'm going to be doing, things that I want to accomplish by the end of the week. There's so many goals you can set. And if you're a content creator, looking back at your growth and stuff like that can help motivate you. Celebrate like all the mini milestones, whether it be 1 new follower, 10 new followers, whatever level you're at. You gotta celebrate it and just realize you're one step closer to being at your goals, you know? Another way you can stay motivated to play is just pick an aspect of the game that you want to improve at in that day. For example, the new lever shotty came out the other day and I spent the entire day only using that gun. I would have like a purple tack and I'd literally drop it for a gray lever shotty. Just because my only goal was to get clips with that new gun and VOD review them and just learn how to use it. Or say you're practicing trios, you can set the goal to communicate more than you did the day before. During fights, to have as many comms as possible, and make sure you guys celebrate when you have a really good fight where you were calming really well. Point out all the good things that happened. Try to avoid thinking about the negative things that happened, but talk about what you did right. Like say you didn't win the game, maybe go back to a point in the game where you did something really well and be like, heck yeah bro, we killed that part of the game, let's do more of that next game. I feel like I'm turning into a motivational speaker during this video. By the way, I'm going to be starting to post more videos like this on my second YouTube, where I pick a big question about the game or just some topic that I get asked all the time on stream, like is gaming based on genetics, stuff like that, and I'll make a little podcast over top of some gameplay. If that sounds like something that'll interest you, be sure to go sub there. The link is in the description. It's called More JivanTV. If you guys have other tips on this topic of mentality, be sure to start a conversation in the comments. I'm sure people will be looking for any advice they can find. This is just the stuff that worked for me. If this video helped you out, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.